Alright guys, down at the 007 bar today. As you can see, they've had a paint since I was last here anyway. Moved the rotisserie up to the front as well. They used to put pig roasts on here. We go out the front here. What you have is this area here. You can have some exterior seating. They have got security grills, but they all roll back, so you don't have to have it closed up. This bit here where these arches are, there is actually windows on the other side as well, so you can actually open that up a bit if you wanted to. That's one of the things I will want to say. It's up to you. Bar area is quite large. You can see I've got some fridges in here as well, so there's already the fridges. Obviously you've got some taps, but they will need a bit of servicing. Sinks. Looks like it's either an old chiller or it might be a dishwash. A lot of this stuff still works, by the way. It's just one of the things they're waiting for is the electricity being put back on, which is taking a bit longer than they had expected. Toilets, don't really need to see them, but they're obviously it's a toilet. One toilet, sink, etc. Hand dryer, toilet, sink, nothing exciting. Kitchen area is fairly large. As I said, the electricity is still an issue. Large sink at the back here, so dishwash and everything, you know, is that a double sink? Let's have a look. Alright, you just got a deep sink here, large sink, you can't see it in the dark. There's like a griddle here that does work, and I think there's another one there as well that works as well. The extract was working, but simply I can't say it is working because we need the electricity to check it, but it was working the last time it was used. And obviously you've got the old fly killer, no electric fan off here for a bit of ventilation. A couple of aircon units as well. You've got a good brand as well, Daewoo. So you've got one there, one over there, so you've got the air conditioning already installed. A stage area, because they used to do flamenco here. One of the other reasons I'm doing this update as well, beyond the fact that somebody's looking at buying a bar this week, is permits now up to date, so it's actually licensed as a restaurant. That's all done and dusted, so legally they can open now. You can use this plaza area as well. The restaurant opposite has just been sold to somebody else, and that's been there a long time. I think that's sold for $240,000. But this area used to have a flamenco dancing from here. They used to go 50-50 on it and use it for different things. You can have seating along here as well. And as I said, these are the windows you could open up if you wanted to. Now there's a couple of other things relating to this location. This unit is inside a development that already has its own swimming pool and tourists here on holiday. Now we go slightly outside. Down on the left is another swimming pool, so it's ideal for things like ice creams and stuff as well. And then there's another swimming pool on the right, which I believe is just up the ladder, just up the steps. And on the main road, I'll just go here so you can have a quick look. You can see it's in a good location, relating to properties all around it, this side and that side. It's not beachfront, before anybody asks, but at the same time, it used to do very, very well. The reason it's been closed for about 10 years, and the reason for that is not financial, it's simply they moved back to the UK. The kids were getting a bit older, and being in a bar dawn till dusk, they decided they wanted to spend time with the kids, and that's what they did. The kids are now adults. But they've come back. We're looking at whether they open it or not, and as I was saying, I'm just talking to one of the owners a minute ago. Like they were saying, it's like, do I really want to be doing this in my retirement? The answer is no. You know, it's good when it was running. They had made good money. On a good night, it was making €1,000 a night. but ultimately they don't need it. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's already got a good pension, and his partner's coming up to a good pension as well. So it's not a case of they need to be running a bar 24/7 or whatever. So from that point of view, that's why it's for sale. It's 155,000 euros. How does that compare with other places? Like I said, the one over the road there is 240,000, and this has been sold by a couple of Brits. And back in its peak, which would be probably mid-90s, somebody did offer them 320,000, but obviously that was during the peak season. My personal view is 155,000. It seems quite reasonable, because if you shop around, you'll see what you're dealing with other bars and whatever. And I think price-wise, this one's competitive. The other side of that being is it's already got its new license. All the taxes have been paid up to the end of the year as well, so all the community charges and everything are already up to date. Location-wise, it's in the middle of a large community development, so there's lots of properties around this from the tourism side. The bar side, I'm not being funny, there's a lack of stuff going on at night in a lot of the places now. So it may actually be an ideal opportunity there for actually doing some live bands or stuff like that, but that's completely up to you. But yeah, I do think it's quite a good, location-wise, it's centralised. It's got a lot of, like I said, there's a few pools. I think it's 3 pools just on its doorstep. So one of the things I would stick in, without a doubt, is ice cream. I would be selling ice cream like no tomorrow. But from a point of view of what I would run in here as myself, I know they used to do property cleans and property rentals as well. And this is what Q Branch used to be. Because although they did cooking, it was predominantly not in the kitchen. It was actually, a lot of it was pre-done. A lot of it's done on the pig roast, etc. So a lot of the kitchen stuff wasn't actually used, which is why it was predominantly used as an office. But that's up to you. If you want to use it as a kitchen, go for it. But I do think they did a lot of the stuff on this side, or was pre-done before the restaurant opened, which allowed a bit of flexibility on the use of the space. But where is it? It's prime location for tourism. For myself, you probably watched a lot of my videos, and I've mentioned about the fact that it seems busier this year than last year. And we're just going into the holiday season. They are saying they're not expecting it to be as busy as last year. I actually think it will be. But I also think there's going to be a lot more residents and stuff coming to Spain as well. I think the Brexit's actually helping with that, because a lot of people want to come here to retire anyway. I mean, I know with the Torrevieja office, if you've seen my last video, they're up 50% from people from the United Kingdom that are actually applying for residency in Spain. But you've also got a lot of stuff with the Swiss, the Dutch and everything else coming here as well. The numbers are definitely seeming on the up. So I think there's a lot more potential than there was 3 years ago, definitely, without a doubt. But anyway, that's the restaurant. This is the bar. That's another thing I want to stress. It's a restaurant license. And the reason that's important is you can have music. It's already in the restaurant license. Bars are seen as smaller, like a bar. This is actually classed as a restaurant. Because I think the classifications are bar, cafeteria, and then restaurant. And this one's got restaurant, which allows it to have music and other bits and pieces. So there you go, and that's up to date as well. Like I said, it's only just finished the paperwork on that, so all above board, 100% legal. Transfer of ownership, etc., not a problem. The owners already have all their paperwork up to date as well, because one of the things they have spent the last few months doing is getting all the paperwork organised for selling the property. So it's not going to be a case of I'm interested, I want to buy, and then having to sit for the next year or so. It's already in process or already complete. Electricity is in process, but the documentation is already complete for transfer. The documentation relating to, you can see the permit's already on the wall. So it's operational. The only issue is right now is just waiting for the electricity to be switched on. There's also a security alarm system up there as well. I'm not sure if that works or not, but that's something that could be easily updated, because I assume it's going to be on contacts or whatever. It wouldn't be expensive to update that if you wanted to anyway. But generally, because of the shutters and that in there, you ain't really going to get too much problems with a risk of break-ins or whatever anyway. But anyway, thanks for watching.